We're good to go.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another First Thursday. This is the first Thursday of the summer. Typically, we'll have it outside in the sunken garden, is where we would have it. Want to thank the UFRAT for putting on First Thursday. We've been rocking together for many, many, many years. Um, and it's always a pleasure for a new First Thursday. I've been playing in the background. I don't know if you guys heard it, but my favorite group, which is Diggable Planets. And I figured NO of Moody Black, our feature, who does a nice blend of spoken word and hip hop, uh, a man like myself, we definitely created a kinship. But I wanted to discuss that. Diggable Planets, they released their first album in 1993. The reason I'm bringing this up is because June is uh, Black Music Month. It's been Black Music Month since 1979. Me growing up, I've always loved celebrating the music uh, since I was a child and just discussing them. In 1993, Diggable Planets released their first album, which also won them a Grammy for Best Hip Hop Duo and or Group. And on that album, they had an awesome spoken word piece on that album. That piece really inspired me to transition from hip hop to spoken word. It was in 1993 when my first son was born, and that's when I wanted to make that transition. So I'm going to open up with their piece. It's called La Femme Fatale off of their album Reaching. This is Diggable Planets, and I wanted to share this piece with you from them. It was 8:49 on a beautiful ninth day of July. There was no cloud to speak of, so the orange sun hung lonely in the sky. I was laid prone in my cabby home, thinking of Nappy Jackie and his jazz cat horn, sliding a tape of Bird on Verb when suddenly rang my phone. Hey, butterfly, the voice said, slip on your duds, comb out your fro, and slide onto my pad. The vibe here is very pleasant, and I truly request your presence. A problem of great magnitude has arose, and as we speak, it grows. Damn, what could it be? I thought. A juice I bought and rolled down to her spot. Seeing bros I know, slapping fives, I arrived and pressed G5. And there was Nikki, looking some kind of sad, with tears falling from her eyes. She sat me down, dug my frown, and began to run it down. She said, you remember my boyfriend Sid, that fly kid who I love? Well, our love has often been a verb, and spontaneity has brought a third. And due to our youth and economic state, we wish to terminate. About this, we don't feel great, but baby, that's how it is. The feds have dismissed me. They have ignored and dissed me. The pro-lifers harassed me outside the clinic and called me a murderer. Now that's hate. So needless to say, we're in a mental state of debate. Hey, beautiful bird, I said, digging her somber mood. The fascists are some heavy dudes, and they don't really give a damn about life. They just don't want a woman to control her body or have the right to choose. But baby, that ain't nothing. They just want a male finger on the button. Because if they say war, they send them to die by the score. An aborting mission should be your volition. But if Suter and Thomas have their way, you'll be standing on the line, unable to get welfare while they'll be out hunting and fishing. It has always been around and it will always have a niche, but they'll make it a privilege, not a right, accessible only to the rich. Hey, pro-lifers need to dig themselves because life doesn't stop after birth, and a child born to the unprepared might even just get worse. The situation would surely change if they found themselves in it. Supporters of the H-bomb and firebombing clinics, what type of shit is that? Orwellian, in fact. If Roe v. Wade was overturned, would they not desire remain intact, leaving young girls to risk their health, doctors to botch and watch as they kill themselves? Nah, I hate to sound macabre, but hey, isn't that my job? To lay it on the masses and get them off their asses to fight against these fascists. So, whatever you decide, make that move with pride. Sid will be there, and so will I. An insect till I die, till I die. I wanted to share that piece because many times when we think of hip hop, we don't realize the depth. And to me, it was amazing in 1993 to have these cats speak on such a topic at the time when, we deal with a lot of male chauvinism in hip hop and things of that nature. But to have this group come in 1993 and also be able to be seen by the industry and win a Grammy for their performance and their album. So I want to share that with you guys. That was Diggable Planets, La Femme Fatale, my man Butterfly, funky dude, funky dude. So, like I said, it's this it's beautiful this first Thursday. I'm so excited to have this guy, this cat, Moody Black. I'm gonna get into his into his bio, but I want to tell you that it's amazing. It's amazing to see in hip hop, we will call it an A-alike individual who has inspired me. He had his album drop, Manifest. Make sure you guys go check it out. I saw it. I was like, oh man, it put a light under me to go and make sure that I put out my album and not just sit on it. So that's why when I say hip hop, it really pushed me in that sense. So it always takes, a sword sharpens sword. So love to present to you guys Moody Black. He's been performing since he was 12, a performing artist. He's a TED Talk performer. He hosts the longest running open mic in South Carolina. Make sure you check it out. It's every Sunday at the Coffee Underground, 7:30 p.m. I'm pretty sure he's doing a virtual thing with that. He's a National Poetry Award in 2015 for Best Open Mic Venue. National Poetry Award winner, a motivational speaker. He's a smart art teaching individual, positive hip hop artist, needless to say, a comedian as well. So as you listen to him, you'll definitely get to feel that vibe. 2020 South Carolina Underground Music Award nominee for Best Male Model. He's out there modeling and everything. Best Male Entrepreneur. 2020 National Arts Integration and STEM Virtual Conference Presenter. Also, he won Artist of the Year for the Upstate Music Award in 2020. And he likes walks on the beach and sweet potato pie. So without further ado, I bring to you Moody Black.
This for the poets that go place to place and not make a penny. But hoping somebody give one for their thoughts, because thoughts are all that poets have to give. So you hope that somebody would at least give you something, especially after the landlord hands you an eviction notice. So after stressing, you flip that piece of paper over, scribble some lines, and 9 times out of 10, you keep it. Because you have to deal with both sides of that paper. Now, on one side of that paper is the date, where you got to have all your stuff out that house. But on the other side is a poem. And not just any poem, but a poem become the soundtrack to your sanity. Instead of having a nervous breakdown, you broke down your struggles with a pen to take your sadness and sorrows for the stanza or sonnet in hopes to make tomorrow a better day. Some say you better pray because heaven and stress can prey on your soul. So pour out your soul to a soul that will listen. Going place to place, emptied out your soul, and sometimes leave empty pockets. But you wouldn't trade in that therapy session that some people call reciting a poem for anything in that moment. It's priceless. This for all those who do not know that they are poets. And at some point in English class, you flip past the poetry section to section yourself away and say, "Oh, poetry ain't for me," or "Poetry is boring." Those who never see themselves soaring in the blue skies, resting on white clouds, wearing a white tee with all whites and a white fitted hat that reads free. Those who never see themselves wearing the same outfit on a stage or a platform, mic or no mic, only because you've never seen yourself. But if you see yourself, you'll free yourself. Instead of ripping your hood, you put on a hoodie, write a poem, make a movement. Because once you see somebody give you their hearts, souls are moving, it don't cost that much to do it. Just go down to the dollar store, get a pack of pens and a composition notebook for $2 and some change for a chance to change somebody's life. In that moment, it's priceless. Finally, y'all, this is for me. Ever since I was a fetus in Pearl Reba's womb, visualizing this day, hope it's what inspired me to write a poem to inspire change in somebody's life, screaming for it to come out, because the only outlet is this poetry when you feel like a penguin without a heart song to your happy feet. Move to the beats and the rhymes, the hopes of having a better day. You write a poem at every debt notification, and every feel to the world knows you don't owe them the sincerity of your words. In your earlier life, we all thought poetry was boring, but it take you going some things, putting it down on paper that you go on some things to make it all worthwhile. And your poets, we feel like our poems worth millions. But to someone give you their last $5 to buy your CD because you inspired change in their life, despite them being a paycheck away from being homeless. But that moment, it's priceless. And that's that piece. What's going on, everybody? What's happening?
Yes,
I'm such an honor to be here. Thank y'all for having me. All the way, I'm giving you blessings and positive energy from South Carolina. Despite what they say about my state, there's some great individuals here. I promise you it is. I hope that I could be that example of that positivity that's here in our pie-shaped state of South Carolina. But once again, I'm honored to be here. Thank y'all for having me. So I got 10 minutes. Let's keep it moving. I am Moody Black. I am moodyblack.com is my website. I'm on every form of social media as I am Moody Black. I keep it simple, so you can find me anywhere. I'm on Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, my album Manifest, as Tate just mentioned, just dropped. The year anniversary will be next month. And I plan to do it real big. So I got some new poems that I'm working on that I really want to share with you all, and I'd love to get your feedback. So let's go. I'm going to start with some love/anti-love type stuff. I'm going to go ahead and get that out the way, if y'all don't mind. And y'all please be interactive. Y'all can snap, and y'all hear some y'all like and go, woo, a nice little subtle, woo. You can do all that stuff. I got you. Let's go ahead. This is called Aquatic Love. I'm a Pisces, so of course, as aforementioned, I like walks on the beach. I love the water. I love lakes and all that. But sometimes love gets me watery the wrong kind of way. And one of my favorite movies, Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones was a pirate who was in love with the sea goddess Calypso. And Calypso, one could say, is a metaphor for the ocean. And when he finally came to dry land to meet her, she never showed up. But after all, she is the ocean. Never still, beautiful, but ever changing. And sometimes harsh. As a result of his hurt, he cut out his heart from his chest, locked it in the chest, and hid the key. Funny of what love can make you do. I guess love is the ocean. And the ocean covers 75% of the earth. But when you hurt, that 75% of ocean that's inside of your body finds a way to come out. You only see constant tsunamis, even when the waters seem calm. Something mystical about its depth, the way it flows, but you just don't know when it'll conjure up a perfect storm. You'll be convinced that there's something conniving in its currents, wickedness in its ways. It'll have you singing the deep blues, drowning in your sorrow. And when I think back of every time I dropped my anchor to settle in the sea, I end up being in a wreck of a relationship, caught up in the Bermuda Triangle of trying too hard. And when I made every effort to do right, every woman I liked left, because love was my only religion. I ended up with the girlfriend who broke up with me because I wasn't a Christian. One girlfriend broke with me because I wasn't a Muslim. Another left me because I wasn't a 5% or so. The 75% of ocean that was inside of my body was just tears that hurricaned my heart. And I heard that Shakespeare once said that the whole world is a stage and everybody has to play their part. So I guess in this movie, I am Davy Jones, because every time I come to settle on this dry land, I leave with a flood on my face. Funny how everybody make love sound so great. I used to wear those same rose-colored glasses. But what do you do when you see that all the flags are red? When it's hard to see the warning signs to everything looks like a warning sign. However, we most times still scuba dive in. We romanticize how we're supposed to roll our boats gently up streams with significant others. But me, I've cried enough rivers that have flooded the coral reefs of my beliefs. But I suppose that's the way love goes. This ebb and flow of fantasy and fright, how there's a Titanic crashing on the iceberg where my heart used to be, a vessel ready to believe it could sail safely. But I swear, I want to talk about love till it's no longer my weakness. The Pisces and me want to wade in its waters of its wisdom because it's everything I breathe with. I'm learning how to let go of all the times I may have kissed other beaches. I want to see if I can be the starfish in his eyes so he can see that I'm seasick and love. I want to be more than a monster without a heart, a captain without a crew of emotions on this flying Dutchman of distress, hoping that the tentacles of my beard can tell the ocean to come here, to embrace me, baptize me with its waves. Fill my body with 75% of a soulmate. I just want to feel its body of water. So Calypso, the ocean, love, help me believe in you again.
Woo! Right on.
That's that piece.
Right on. Yes, indeed.
That's that piece, man. A few more pieces. I'm trying to go quick. I know I got 10 minutes. I'm gonna make sure I be respectable to the time. So I definitely want to sit back and get inspired by listening to everyone else. And shout out to Big Tate, man. That dude's a stand-up guy. Man, you're awesome. And thanks for sharing that poem. Very influential in everything I do as well. That's a super group. I love them. All right, we're gonna get a little deep real quick. Once again, I told y'all my favorite desserts is sweet potato pie. Hey, for the first time, y'all, I made my own version of sweet potato pie. Well, I made some sweet potato pie. I can't say I altered it and made my own version, but I made it for the first time a couple months ago now. I did it again a couple weeks ago. So awesome. I did 2 times making sweet potato pie, and everybody said they liked it. So this is my sweet potato pie poem. Matter of fact, I was challenged to write this in October. It takes me a long time to write because I got so much going on. Shout out to my man, Mike, part of the Ain't Right Tribe. He challenged me to write a sweet potato pie poem in October, and I finished it in February. So here it is. Sweet potato pie. Here you go. So to make sweet potato pie, you need 2 medium sweet potatoes, brown sugar, 2 large eggs, milk, vanilla extract, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, salt, and a pie shell. Now, I ain't never made no sweet potato pie till recently, but I do consider myself a connoisseur of the pie of the sweet potato. And every time my mama used to bake them, I do my best to sneak out and take them, but it's so amazing how anyone can make them, how some people have the recipe committed to memory. I guess that's why my mama make them so good. Because she always hold on to memories. How she never let me forget about my mishaps. Any bad decisions I've made, how I made her a grandma at an early age, and life for me ain't been no easy bake oven. But don't get it twisted. I own my mistakes or anything I ever did, but one thing I always done was love my mama. Every interview or award when asked who inspired me, I would say my mama. But the day I had an opinion or disagreed or ended up looking too much like my daddy, our relationship was never the same. To her, I was crumbling the crust of our confection. We would argue till it got too hot in the kitchen, temperature always rising. However, when it's time to cool off, she made sure I left with the blame. So I always thought that 2 mature adults can agree to disagree and still leave the conversation with oven mittens of love, but I wonder if that's just it. It seems that she never see me as a mature adult, and most times she will remind me that she is a parent and I am the child. Honestly, I don't know what's cooking in her brain. Because sometimes I don't think my mama too much like me. And I learned through her that you can love someone, but you ain't gotta like them. And I don't know if it's because I used to be too broke to shower my mom with gifts like the other sons, but no matter how you slice it, I just don't seem to make the cut with her. Maybe because of the mental illness that runs in my family, maybe she still feels that I'm not completely in the pie pan. She once told me that with all the craziness I created for myself, she don't see how I haven't lost it yet. I always tell her that I just fight to show the world what I'm made of, but to her, I still don't have the right ingredients. That I'm always 1 egg short, that I've gone too nutmeg without grounding my cinnamon. Sometimes I wish we could just start from scratch. She refused to even take my phone calls, y'all. I would leave funny voice messages in hopes to butter her up. But mama would rather just be salty. For her birthday, I put $100 in a card, and all she said was, "Oh, you working now?" I don't know if she felt as a parent, or if I felt as a person. If I felt as both a person and a parent, but as a parent that I'm no longer. The sweet potato in her eye. I swear I want to finish this poem with a happy ending, but I just don't know. I'm still looking inside the oven, hoping we can get things back on the right rack. Not sure how much we got left on the timer, but maybe our pie is just not done cooking yet. That's that piece.
Right on, right on, right on.
So I got one more. I don't know if my time. Let me know if I'm going too much over. But I got one more because I want to be respectful of the time.
You're good.
So, okay, cool. Once again, y'all, I am Moody Black. I am on Instagram at I am Moody Black. Twitter, I am Moody Black. Facebook, I am Moody Black. I am on Patreon. Please, y'all, I'm trying to get my Patreon numbers up. I am Moody Black on Patreon and YouTube as well. Definitely subscribe to the channel. All right, so we're gonna leave on a more social, political type poem. There is a video for this poem. I've been trying to get my Spike Lee on, so a lot of videos, most recent videos is on my YouTube channel. I did direct and film myself, so I'd love for y'all to check out my videos on my YouTube, subscribe to my page, and leave some comments. Tell me what you think about it. This is called Jokers, and this was inspired by the movie Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. So I'd love for y'all to check the video out that I did. I got him sitting there, and I'm putting the makeup on my face and everything. So y'all tell me what you think. Okay? No, I know nothing's funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter. And for me, it's something I can't control. I mean, why cry over something that does not make sense? Like when James Harris Jackson, a white man, followed Timothy Kaufman, a 66-year-old black man, and stabbed him repeatedly with the sword. After turning himself in, he stated, "I was looking to get black men scared and have them do reciprocal attacks and inspire white men to do similar things." Isn't that crazy? Or like Emmett Till at age 14 was accused of listening at a white woman when the lady's husband heard about it. Him and his goons hunted him down, gouged out his eyes, shot him in the head and through his body, tied to a cotton gin fan with barbed wire into the Tallahatchie River. And y'all wonder why we scared. We always knew that they killed black people no matter 14 or 66. And now I'm always smiling, still considered second-class citizens, still have to ask for civil liberties, still told to let the past go. But the past got close to a 500-year chokehold on my people. It's the killing joke. I'm sorry. I know that's just funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter. But for me, it's something I can't control. But it's funny how one race don't like another race because of how another race looks or think. Or they think we don't have the capabilities to think. They think we're expendable. It's like they lost their minds. That's why we keep losing our Oscar Grants, Trayvon Martins, Sandra Bland's, Philando Castiles, and still people are tired of hearing their names in a poem. But if you don't say their names, they died twice. Isn't that funny? All the key when they killing us. It's a knee slapper when they slap us in the face. A hardy har when a black body hits the ground. It's just me. It's getting crazier out there because there's no more Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They made a suicide squad out of our Black Panthers. We're just hoping a dark night returns because always a death in the family, a sunset troubling the innocent because they keep promising us the dawn of a new day. Isn't that funny? America, we've been scared of young white males who grow up to wear whites to cover up their faces, paint a smile with the blood of black folks and kill for the fun of it. But America sympathizes with those jokers as long as it's black people dying. It's a manslaughter of cracking up. It's a lynching of giggles. It's an assassination that'll leave your stitches. Then with Dylan Roof, our will to live. I'm sorry, no. Nothing's funny. See, I have a condition. I have psychopathic laughter. Sometimes You got to laugh to keep from crying. And it seems whether we live or die is something we cannot control. Isn't that funny?
Thank you.
And thank y'all for having me, man. I appreciate y'all listening to my words, me share my story, and I'm getting more acclimated with these pieces, so I'm trying to memorize them. But I want to share this with y'all, and hope y'all got something from it. I appreciate y'all having me.
We truly did. We truly did. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Let's give it up one more time for Moody Black. Give it up. Yes.
Thank you. Thank y'all. The album manifests on every streaming platform. Y'all check it out. I appreciate y'all.
Right. Thank you. And next up to your screen, we have Rosanna Alvarez. Rosanna Alvarez. Let's give it up for Rosanna.
That's me. That's me. And grateful to be here. And I can relate, right? To when things are not funny, you kind of wrap all the way around. And you see, sometimes I write poems while brushing my teeth. Let it catch me in full rumination, thoughts and rhymes brushing past the agitation, relentless and fluid, internal narration, circling past organized chaos, robust introspection, drowning out the palpitations, getting that grit, perturbed disruptions, spitting beyond the presumed placation. So, when I was asked to share some spoken words today, I wanted to capture what my communities in solidarity would say. And I thought about the legacy of how this work extends beyond today. And the words found me in that organic way. Poetry is not a performance, it's the truth of our hearts shared on display. You see, we're not an afterthought, we're an exclamation. My being here, it's an affirmation. My ancestors' resistance turned reclamation. Surviving and thriving in spite of indignation, my rhyme's a scathing song of liberation, refusing artificial boundaries of trepidation. Chola scholars defying all short sighted expectation, scientific processes shamefully advancing our damnation. Enter guerrilla poets aligning overdue reconciliation. We've risen beyond waves across space and time of these chronically misconstrued timelines, existing phenomenally, giving life, como la luna, controlling the tides. Where we come from is so much more than a well manicured glass White House, politicized beyond the lies. We are a people of cultura y corazón, herederas of círculos where the hummingbird flies, reminding us that in spite of all pretense, we continue to rise, centering ourselves while battling critiques of self centeredness when that centering is essential to acknowledging our sacredness, carrying where we come from and who we've always been. Hearts with East Side roots, marching while grieving all of our missing women. Amplifying stories, tucked under the cadence of un/b-longing. Here with fists up as we declare a long-standing legacy, collectively affirming the recycled poetry of this. Hocicona eres más chingona. Speak truth to power and resist. Revolution, it's you. Even when you're sitting, resting in the fullness of your bliss. So thank you for tagging me in here and letting me play along with words. And there's a playfulness and a seriousness, and there's some kind of magic we all activate when we get to be with each other. And our poems are in conversation, whether we planned for it or not. And so it's always a beautiful thing to jump in a lineup here and see how the kind of patchwork of wordplay unravels and kind of comes back, right? That ocean that comes out of it is coming back in that wave and
Thank
seeing
you.
how it goes with the tide.
You speak your truth so beautifully. Thank you very much. Let's give it one more time for Rosanna Alvarez. Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Yes. And next to your screen, we have Julian Perano Stoll. Let's give it up for Julian.
Hey, it's great to be back. So my poem today is about my frustration when I hear people talk about homeless folks. Because oftentimes it's all the shrinking places. I took a walk by the river. Am I good? Okay. I took a walk by the river, and it seemed lonely. No more tents or blue tarps. No hammocks hanging from trees. The smell of grills was gone and had taken the chatter with it. I wanted to help the river, maybe buy it a meal with some spare change. But the river kept going, as rivers, however lonely, go on. And before long, the frogs came back en masse, and the crickets too. House sparrows made wide nests in the branches above its waters, and song returned to the burbling waters. But the neighbors were still unhappy in their cozy colonial homes. Too much noise, they said, again, filing complaints to attentive bureaucrats. I haven't seen the river since, only the street blaspheming its name. Even so, when it rains, I can still sometimes hear burbling waters, maybe even a frog croaking in the gutter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Yes. Next, coming to your screen, we have Sarah Robertson. Let's give it up for Sarah Robertson.
Hi, everybody. I just want to thank you for inviting me here tonight. Thank you, McTate. Thank you to the coordinators of this event. And thank you to Ken for encouraging me to participate. I'm a student at De Anza, and I'm going to be sharing this poem I wrote called Honeybee for Ken's class this quarter. Right. The average honeybee can fly at 15 miles per hour and flit its wings 11,400 times per minute, making it the most powerful beast of the insect kingdom. Beastly though she may be, she prefers to spend her days tumbling from dandelions to daisies to marigolds, powdering her nose with dusty yellow pollen and swallowing teacup after teacup of honey under the burning sun until her furry belly is round and warm. She dances in the brilliant light, making figure eights in midair over the richest flowers to share her abundance with her sisters. Beware, though, for this fun-loving spirit is also a fearsome warrior, a noble guardian of her queen, willing to lay down her life at a moment's notice. For when threat ventures near, use of her dagger will tear her own bowels from her body. A valiant hero, lost to a bloody battle. Both beastly and gentle, this sharp-witted lover of sun and sweetness is one of Earth's greatest weapons and dearest friends. The magic behind 1/3 of the global food supply and the glowing green earth in spring. Oh, honeybee, we owe so much gratitude to you. I'll plant a cherry tree just for you, beloved keeper of the flowers. Thank you so much for listening and giving me the space to share this with you tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, such beautiful poetry happening. Next to your screen, I'd like to welcome Flo Wong. Flo Wong, everyone.
I am so thrilled to be here. I want to thank Diana, for inviting me to participate. I'm going to be reading you a poem. It is 2021. Ah, ah, ah. It is 2021. During the COVID-19 pandemic, an explosive time of rising anti-Asian violence in America, Asians are attacked and killed. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island. In Oakland, Chinatown, a 91-year-old man is violently shoved to the ground from behind. A few minutes later, the attacker then pushes a 60-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman onto the sidewalk. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water, this land was made for you and me. In New York, a 65-year-old Asian woman, battered by a man on the street, collapses in front of an apartment building. The perpetrator, a man who killed his mother in 2002, stomps on the 65-year-old woman repeatedly. Doormen shut the door to the apartment building. They do nothing to stop the stomper. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway, saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. In Atlanta, 6 Asian women are shot by a white man who could not control his sex addiction. Blood flowing from the women's lifeless bodies flood the spa floor. I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps through the sparkling sand of her diamond deserts. This land was made for you and me. It is 2021. This land was made for you and me.
What a piece. Thank you, Flo Wong. Thank you. Is Michael Bolden in the house? Okay. The next to the stage, let's welcome John Dorrance. Let's give it up for John Dorrance. Welcome, John.
Oh, welcome everybody. Hey, thanks for having me again. It's always great to be here. Thank you, everybody. Tonight, I'm actually not going to bring any of rage or ambiguity. Diana, I'm going to do something fun tonight. Currently, I'm still writing a lot of dark stuff, but this one isn't. It's a love poem of sorts. My wife, whose essence can pulse electric, lights flashing, 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 atop carnival merry-go-rounds, with belighted youngsters grasping the reins of painted porcelain seahorses swimming up, down, in wavy blue calliope circles. My wife, whose breathing might fill the billowing canvas of merchant clipper ships, their hatches unbattened, tossed in tempestuous squalls, 9 nautical miles off the Ivory Coast, sail into safe harbor for warm bread, a smooch and cold grog. My wife, with her soul of a classical lit symphony, of a quartz pebble in a cold stream, of two pigeons squabbling, pecking a crust of dry sourdough in Golden Gate Park, of a smelly Fuji apple core, phew, of a microscope lens focused 10x over a colony of paramecium, of a, dear listener, you fill in the blanks. Her soul will encompass all of your notions. My wife, whose emotions serve to illustrate how light divides, prismatic frequencies arching above Maui's town of Haiku, most sunny days after it drizzles. My wife, whose emotions are able to animate the pectoral fins of giant cephalopods as they hunt through dark, salty waters, a Marianas Trench filled with squid ink and small prey. My wife, with her anger, like a buttonhole sewed shut, like a beggar asking for change at the corner of brimstone and night, like a silence waiting for a symbol, like a rattlesnake poised to poison, like a cut postponed for a bandage. Ouch! My wife has a kind of empathy that builds empires ahead of schedule, that converses with honeybees, that knows how to mend minor cuts and scrapes, that sings off-key just right, that conducts my sunrise and sunset symphony series. She has won numerous Grammys. My wife, whose touch convinces hell's nastier demons that their pitchforks were meant for gardening, preparing the soil for cherry tomatoes and cucumbers to dress a fresh garden salad. My wife, whose touch adjusts the spin and the tilt and the gravity, realigns and soothes the world, at least as much as I know of it. My wife, whose touch instinctively sculpts giggles and first laughter without following any set instructions or unnecessary drawings. My wife has the kind of love that might make a priest kick a hole in his stained glass window, has the kind of love that can charm the fine feathered wings off of angels and field sparrows, but not from those of crows or Poe's raven. My wife has the kind of love that takes 3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. My wife with her sadness, like that chlorinated water that reddens sensitive eyes, assaults the sinuses, and fills the rec center's pool. My wife with her sadness wades in the shallows, splashing her pressure points. Brr, it's cold. Fridays she might swim 50 laps. On Monday she dives deep. My wife, whose understanding does cruise around the Rubicon, a causeway of complexity, electrons spark across her mind through dendrites measureless to man, zapped to a brilliant sea. Her knowledge adds strobe lights to any conference room, transmutes words and or phrases into legal magic, wins at Scrabble every bloody time, game board stinking oxyphenobutazone. Her knowledge supports sundry daydreams and schemes, bigger municipalities, and a household. Discombobulates my best laid arguments, provides essential nutrients, confounds most jigsaw puzzle pieces. Her knowledge, once reasoned with a teenager, to little if no avail. My wife, whose presence melts pocket watches, heals laptops, solves bathtubs, kisses alligators, loathes gravity, loves meatloaf, questions reality television, perfumes the doldrums, overfills soup bowls, improves Disneyland, cradles, hugs, steadfastly blesses our life, my life, every moment, my precious wife.
Right on. Thank you for sharing, John. Thank you. Very touching piece. Appreciate it. Next to your screen, I would like to invite Madison Salas. Let's give it up for
Hi.
Madison.
Hi, thank you for letting me be here. I'm one of Ken's students at De Anza,
Awesome.
and this is a poem that I wrote for his class. It's not so much a fun poem as John's was, but I think it's a love poem nonetheless to my grandparents and their time in the internment camps. Grandma Miyazaki says that her 4 years in camp went by fast and that it's okay because the government apologized. And then she asks me not to use her last name. Just call me Grandma. None of our family speaks Japanese. An American flag waves proudly outside their white picket fence house, and the neighbors that knock on the door wrinkle their nose at the smell of natto, as though it is intrusive, even in the space of my grandparents' own home. Grandma says that she loves that her granddaughters come from 2 cultures. How nice it is that they're mixed, but wonders what a shame it is that my sister is so dark. The second weekend of July is when my grandparents loved the most. Our family lined up for the Odori dance and dressed in yukata for the only time of the year. And yet all I see are the white women with the kimono worn wrong, and I remember how my classmates thought that Jap was just a descriptor for Japanese. Grandpa holds a graveyard on his tongue, the names of friends who died young, serving in a war for a country that imprisoned them. And Grandma still hoards each tea set she buys, hoping to replace the ones shattered in the dirt outside her childhood home. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, Madison. Thank you. Appreciate that. Next to your screen, we have Zach Patty.
All right. Thank you, McTape.
You're welcome.
All right. So just got a pretty short one to share. All right. Fields of things full of, I don't mean to be pedantic. The fields of things full of, I don't mean to be poetic. Fields of things full of an absence of weight, a kinetic lack of weight. I don't mean to be pedantic, but wouldn't it be nice walking on thrust and lift, on just a patch of ground, just big enough for our feet, moves beneath us in loyal anticipation of each step. I don't mean to be poetic, I must apologize now, but it would be nice surrounded, suspended and surrounded. A field of flowers and forms floating and spun by the wind, passing by us over eagles. I've never told anyone what I wish my first date could be like, and I am too embarrassed to say I know that is the venue. I haven't found the accomplice, but as soon as I did, the best part would be they'd have their own ideas, and the eclectic little garden would have to float down, gravitate to the earth, meet people where they are, as always happens in the end. I don't mean to drag on, pedantic, poetic, etc., but I can't share the sky, the floating fields of whatever the clouds are today, and I don't know why an airplane's cabin feels so dry. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Zach. I like the rhythm in that. Next to your screen, let's give it up for Carolina Mondragon. Let's give it up. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. My name is Carolina Mondragon. Also from Ken's poetry class. This is my first open mic, by the way, so bear with me.
You got this.
I'm gonna read, thank you. I'm gonna read the 3 poems. So, I'm sorry, the 3 homes. 3 homes. San Fran. Sometimes sitting on the balcony in SF, you notice when the city smells like shit. Wind is cool and strong off the bay, clouds full and sweet. The second, Vegas. Orange sky touches the mountains, like a lover coming home to rest. Light scatters down hillsides through empty land, paw prints of desert bunnies, bats at dusk. The third, Santa Cruz. 6 a.m., light dancing over the ocean, sand as calm and as happy as ever. Thank you.
Well, all right. Thank you, Ms. Mondragon. Appreciate it. All right. And next up, Hannah Bang. Let's give it up for Hannah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Ken, for encouraging me to do this. My name is Hannah. I'm a student at De Anza, and today I'll be reading my poem called Why. This poem follows a broken home routine during one of the darker days of quarantine. So here we go. Why? Why this? Why you? Why us? Why here? Why today? Why? But a futile question, why? It makes you all muddled in the head and you wonder things more than you already do, and now you wonder if you're crazy. You used to only wonder that in the middle of the night. Those 3 a.m. thoughts in the pitch black, so dark, your bare eyes swim in sweet, bottomless nothingness. And it was okay because it was so lonely and dark, and there was nowhere to go and nothing to do, and no one to talk to when you were that lost. But now you wonder those things in broad daylight too, you know, the one that filters through your window because it feels like you're outside again, even though it's a lie, and you were supposed to take a walk and get some real vitamin D yesterday, or maybe it was the day before that, or last week, or was it last month? You don't really know what sunlight is like anymore, and you're too afraid to touch it because it's just been too long, and fear is the only thing that shines on you these days. You practically bathe in it. Except the shower is the only place where you don't feel crazy, because the water hitting the bottom of the bathtub fills your ears and drowns out the noise for a moment, and those few minutes of cushiony silence when you begrudgingly shut the water is the most peace you felt since who knows when. Maybe you were never crazy. So you sit and drink tea in that silence and think nothing can touch you, and maybe today you'll finally go for a walk and steep yourself in that blissful something beyond the walls that you don't really remember, so you wait for your hair to dry, and you don't really know where the time went because suddenly you're sitting in bed laughing to the same TV show again, and you wonder if this is the meaning of life. It probably isn't, so you begin to feel disgusted with yourself and search Instagram for those inspirational pages you follow and see news of yet another shooting. Police brutality, white supremacy, Black Lives Matter, justice, justice, justice. Your heart demands it, but it's aching so bad. The guilt, the helplessness, it all folds into your fragile body, and you think, why God? And suddenly you remember your homework due tomorrow for sociology on institutionalized racism and for women's studies on intersectionality. And you just don't know the answers anymore. You don't know anything anymore. You're just so tired. And maybe you really are going crazy, but you'll never admit it because the sun still might shine tomorrow and you might still take that walk. And maybe, just maybe, you'll know why. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Hannah. Great job. Yes. I want to ask Joseph Jason Santiago, if we can get you to do a piece for us real quick, my brother.
Peace, McTay. Good to see you, fam.
And
Really,
peace and blessings.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm inspired. I'll do a love poem. How to turn air into time in 10 steps. 1. Be born to fly. Ruby-throated. Launch with the ease of a yes, bounce about gravity, gracefully vibrate. As we migrate, mate, and build, carry messages across continental divides. Be ready to die if you were deprived of this duty. Our lofty dreams depend upon your instinct to thrive. 2. Whisper in gossamer hues. Holla, a bright display of death becomes you. Touch me, watch me flutter, shy, cry rivers in honor of the extinct. Blink once you understand. Invite me into your vision, pleasure, center, sinner in a golden ratio of heaven to hell. We've been here before. Keep it moving. 3. Bury the past. We can come back for it later if you really need it. Freedom moves forward, upward, and outward. Imprisonment is simply separation from the natural evolution of the spirit. Space is a matter of respect. Do not throw shade, but shed light. 4. Swallow the scene whole. Be careful of the bones. Ignore the crown of thorns they give you. Purify the sound of your infinite resonance and connect it to the innocence of your youth before truth and shame became synonymous. 5. Anonymity is a virtue. Hidden between the layers are epiphanies. Free radicals writing the mantra, the sage chants, words burning their way into the ether over stolen tongue, a palate bronzed by an alchemical priestess at peace with her crazy tears, Crystal 6, the day on which it was written that God made man. When I was 6, I had no doubt this was true. But by 7, I knew better. As a rift in time formed a line dividing heart and mind, shifting into a higher gear, grandmother earth with arms open, offering everything to the moon and back, blood and a bayou in the backyard. 8, state your name and name your price early, and often they will change. This game of death is sold out. So sell out, fold, close the sale, exceed your quota of positive results and address objection right where it's needed. 9, dance. Aligned like sound sine waves, be brave enough to crash through mirrors, move, and like magic, you will change our entire perception of everything. Face your fears and make them fear your face. Smile and cry unfiltered. Fill each silence with jasmine and lavender. Laugh at the cat. Let's twirl and make melody a remedy for malady. 10, finally, grow old together. The world has never needed you more. Your song is as long as you sing it, satin-winged warrior. Sharpen your stars and shine upon our seas deep. We hereby deem you worthy of all you will ever desire.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Let's give it up. Yes.
Peace and love. Bless it. Bless all the poets up in this room right now. Peace.
Yes, indeed. Peace and blessings, Joseph Jason. Santiago. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So this concludes First Thursday. We still have, we're here until 9 if you guys want to chat. We've got a lot of good vibes going on. I appreciate you all. Yeah, it's always a beautiful thing. So what happens is First Thursday takes a break during the summertime. We're back during the fall. I thank you all for coming. Moody, I appreciate you, brother. We definitely gonna have to work together. Because guess what I learned how to cook and been cooking it for about 5, almost 6 years now. My favorite, peach cobbler. So
okay, all right, we gotta mix it up.
Okay, yeah, I got tired of waiting for mom to cook it once a year.
Right.
So yes, but I do look forward to doing a collab with you, man. We
no doubt, man.
I think the people
I'll be honest. Indeed. Thanks for having me again, y'all. Definitely.
Most
I
definitely.
love it.
Thank you for staying up.
Amazing. Oh, no doubt, man. Anytime somebody invite me, man, I want to stick around and support. I don't want to dip in and dip out. I want to pay respect not only to what y'all offering, but to other poets that's been here as well. So a salute to all y'all. Y'all dope. I love it.
I'm glad you got to see some more of what California has to offer. I know you've been around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait to come back, man. Can't wait to come back.
Rosanna, thank you. Such beautiful words and flow and power.
Thank you. It's
at the same time.
And then it's like there's the ripple effect what comes after this, because I'm already like gonna go brush my teeth and write a poem because
right. Exactly.
Can't help it. A poem catches you when it catches you. And it's not always convenient times, but I think that's the beautiful thing about words and playing with them and dipping into that serious flow and then circling back and tinkering and playing and having that childlike rhyme and letting it ebb and flow. So I'm grateful for all y'all on this screen and beyond.
Thank you. And then Ken, man, you got such great students, man. You obviously been putting it down because they feel so open to write so clearly